Good day, everyone. I'm Contessa Brewer. The Obama administration may be set to transfer more than a dozen Guantanamo Bay detainees to a remote island nation in the Pacific. The president of Palau said his government has agreed to take in 17 Chinese Muslim detainees. The announcement comes as the U.S. pledged $200 million in the long term, and that's aid to the nation. NBC's Jim Miklaszewski is in Washington now. Tell me a little bit about this. Is it a deal? Is it $200 million in exchange for taking these detainees?
Well, that is pretty much the deal if it goes through. Defense Department officials say it's still very much in the preliminary stage, but they're moving toward this idea of providing $200 million in long-term aid to Palau in exchange for the agreement that they would take a number of these Chinese Uighurs that have been held at the Guantanamo Bay detention facility, who have since been ruled to no longer be enemy combatants. And quite frankly, defense officials are making no bones about it, that this is a payoff to Palau to do this. After all, it was in 2006 that Albania agreed to take 5 of these Chinese Uighurs off the U.S. hands out of Guantanamo Bay. And in exchange, almost immediately, President Bush at the time showed up for a state visit, and Albania was eventually admitted into NATO. So, you know, there is give and take in all this. What this does point out, however, is the difficulty the U.S. has in taking some of those detainees here into our own country. You know, the Obama administration had sent out a trial balloon of sorts indicating that 70 of these Chinese Uighurs were going to be relocated into the U.S., probably in the area here of the District of Columbia. But there was such a hue and cry that began first with Republican lawmakers, but then extended to Democratic lawmakers who are chanting, "Not in our backyard." But other countries who may be considering taking some of these detainees off the hands of the U.S. say, first, the U.S. has to take some of the detainees here, and that doesn't appear to be happening anytime soon, Contessa.
Well, interesting. We'll have to see what Republican lawmakers have to say, because they're concerned about fiscal responsibility about now paying out $200 million to Palau.
Right, but Contessa, it's not just the Republican lawmakers. They were the first to raise the alarm, but the Democrats quickly fell in behind the Republicans when their constituents said to them, "What's going on here? We don't want these people in our backyard either." So the Obama administration, in its attempts to close down Guantanamo Bay, may run into some difficulties in just what exactly do they do with the 238 detainees who are still there today.
It is a conundrum, and that may be the understatement of the day. Jim, thanks.
Right.